The Magnitude Sports Media Network is all about bringing your team home when they're on the road and bringing your team to your friends, fans, and family who are on the road. Does your team have a huge road game coming up on the schedule that your fans aren't able to attend? Does your family live in a different part of the country? Consider sponsoring your team. We can show you who's watching the game, the age group, the actual number of viewers, so team up with us to bring your team back to your home television when they're on the road playing. Visit our website, msportsnet.com, or call us at 701-373-1843. Another network update. We meant to do one of these back in October, and it's right in the middle of that fall sports season, so we were a little bit busy. And now with the New Year's break and Christmas wrapping up, we have a little bit of time on our hands here. We're going to sneak one in before our next game coming up here in early January. But if you remember the one we did about 15 months ago or so, we were just the ND Sports Channel back then. Now we have grown. We're the Magnitude Sports Media Network, which includes the ND Sports Channel. We have now added the Minnesota Sports Station, and we have done a handful of games in the Minnesota side of the border here in the Red River Valley. And also, one of the things we said in our last video is that we wanted to get out west. We wanted to get out to some of the big games out there. And, we haven't quite gotten to, all the games out there, but we have gotten to a handful thanks to some generous sponsors and donations. So we're certainly appreciative of that. So, and you also may have noticed a little logo down in the other corner of our banner, you could say. And even though we haven't done any games down in South Dakota yet, we do have the SD Sports Vision station kind of in our back pocket. We're going to get there as soon as we can. But I'll just leave it at that for now. Hopefully at the next year's update. And now that we got some more equipment, we might do updates more than just once a year as well. Just kind of keep you in the loop of things and all that good stuff. But we've done. We're approaching our 600th game. We've only been doing this for a little over 2 years now. So that is super awesome. We have the equipment to do 2 games at the same time now. There's just so many exciting things happening, and we certainly look forward to what not only this new year will bring, but this new decade will bring here on the ND Sports Channel, Minnesota Sports Station, SD Sports Vision, Magnitude Sports Radio, which will be where a majority of the state tournaments are going to be broadcasted on because they don't allow video unless we can get some help from you guys. They charge a lot of money, and it's not even fair, in my humble opinion, how much they want us to pay to do video broadcasts of regional and state tournaments. But we respect that. I mean, their business, they gotta make money too. So we get it, and we're a business, and we need to make money to keep this thing going as well. So if we want to do postseason tournaments, regional tournaments, state basketball, or not state basketball, but just state tournaments in general, we do need some support. We need huge donations, and I say huge with an underline under it. Or we need a bunch of sponsors to tag team up with us to bring the video coverage. For example, a Class B, let's say we're in the eastern side of the state, so Region 1, Region 2, that's basically our back door, but we can do all 8 regions if we wanted to. A region basketball tournament in Class B basketball is $5,000 for the boys and an additional $5,000 for the girls. So if we want to get that on video, we need $10,000. And so we need to team up with a group of sponsors or even get a couple of big donations. And that's one way we can get those tournaments on video. Otherwise, we can do those tournaments on Magnitude Sports Radio for a much significantly lower cost. But and we would love to do video. You know, I've done radio for a couple years prior to getting into what we do here at the Magnitude Sports Media Network. And I've done a handful of radio broadcasts. I don't know if those who have listened to those particular broadcasts can tell, but it's man, I wish you could have saw what just happened. And that was the whole thing with this. I mean, we did start out as a radio station, and with the help of sponsors and stuff, we've gotten the video equipment now. We have enough equipment to do 2 games at the same time. We just need another person to help us out with that. We have multiple cameras now, so if we have more people. We can do multiple camera angles on a game. So that's another thing too. Our rates are going to go up a little bit so that we can hire people to help us out with this. And we do have plans potentially. Nothing's official yet, but we do have a possibility of teaming up with a great couple of people that I know very well, former co-workers at a previous radio station I used to work at, to possibly add a second, a sub channel, I guess is what you'd like to call it, possibly, and we'll expand the Magnitude Sports Media Network to cover more teams with more people, which gives us the ability to do more games if we have more people. So our rates are going to go up just a little bit here, but we're going to get more sponsors to help us out with those higher rates. So the rates that we offer to our sponsors are still going to be genuinely reasonable, but we do have to raise our rates if we want to hire people, get more equipment, and all that cool stuff. So hopefully you understand. I don't know if you heard that big sound effect out there. That was snow outside of our office window falling off a tree. Yeah. And if you're watching this in the summertime, now you know that it isn't live anymore. But on the original broadcast, it's live. So with that said, let's go ahead and take a look at, as I mentioned a little bit ago, in our last video, we wanted to get out to the other side of the state, to the western towns, like Dickinson and Bismarck and Mandan and Beulah, and those were a handful of the ones that we mentioned. So let's see where we have been able to go to here. And this is our stats now. And as you can see, we have now done 593 games, so we're 7 shy of the 600. And we have broadcasted from 40 towns. So as you can see, we have gotten out west. We have gotten out to, let's see here, Bismarck, Mandan, right in the middle of the map there. One to the left, New Salem. We get a couple football games in New Salem. We did a football game in Dickinson, a little bit south of Dickinson. We did a football game in Bowman for the Bowman County Bulldogs. And we also, if you head up north there, we were up in Minot. We were up there for the state softball tournament on a radio broadcast. Matter of fact, it was that state softball tournament right when the Magnitude Sports Network was about to be born. That was really hard to say. As we transition from ND Sports Channel to Magnitude Sports Media Network. And then over there, the dot on the far left, I think, what city was that again? Williston? I think that was Williston, yeah. And then the other one there was Four Bears Casino. It was the district girls basketball tournament. Can't recall the town name. Newtown? Is that where the Four Bears Casino is at? Free plug for those guys out there. I sure hope I got the casino name right. So, with that said, and then, of course, we've launched into Minnesota there, too. We've been to Henning, Minnesota, Barnesville, Minnesota, Breckenridge, Minnesota, and a couple of other towns in Minnesota. So, we are pretty excited about that. We've now covered 107 teams, including teams from Las Vegas, Nevada, Peoria, Arizona, and Billings, Montana, are the three that come to mind. Billings, Montana was a Legion baseball tournament. The Arizona team was a boys basketball team. And the Las Vegas one, or did I already say that? Oh, yeah, no, I didn't. The Las Vegas one was also a Legion boys baseball team. And there's been about 2 or 3 others from out of the 3-state region that we've had a chance to cover. So we're certainly proud of that fact. We've had over 120,000 viewers since our first viewers/listeners since our first game in October 17th of 2017. We are a little over 85,000 visits/hits on our website now. As of the time of this video, 1,110 YouTube subscribers, 1,505 Twitter followers, 917 likes/follows on our Facebook, and we still have never asked you to pay for a game. We've asked you in the games to make a donation, but it's a free will donation. And, those games, we appreciate those donations. They help us get this equipment. They help us maintain the equipment, get new equipment if the equipment breaks down, and all that cool stuff. So all these broadcasts are, it is our goal to keep it free. We don't want to be like and we're not saying anything negative, but we're just gonna put this out here because facts are facts. NFHS is one of our competitors that keeps us out of some games. They charge for you to watch those games. They charge a per game subscription, a monthly subscription, or a yearly subscription, if I remember right. I actually have a yearly subscription to the NFHS just so I can keep tabs on some of the teams that we want to follow and keep updated on. So, and that allows us to give you updates on those games that we can't get to because of that. Now, we don't have anything against NFHS. They got to make money. They're a company too. But we just prefer to keep these broadcasts free and not make you pay for them. So that's why we ask for the support of our sponsors. And when you see the commercials for these sponsors in our sports broadcast, we ask that if you're not in need of a product or service from them, please, by all means, simply call them or stop in and visit, or shoot them an email and just simply say thank you for sponsoring this particular game, whatever game it was that you were watching, and let them know that you're paying attention, because that is your help. When you buy products from them, that is what allows them to sponsor these broadcasts and get them on the air. So we certainly appreciate our sponsors, and we certainly appreciate you patronizing those sponsors and saying thank you when you are able to. So that brings us to the donations. They've been a huge reason why we've been able to provide the high quality, high definition sports broadcasts that we have done since 2017. Now, yeah, we were an online radio station when we started. We didn't start the video broadcasting until the summer of 2018, I believe it was. Maybe it was the summer of 2017. Trying to think. No, I don't think it was. Oh. But as I mentioned earlier, they allow us to upgrade the equipment, keep equipment working, do maintenance if maintenance is possible, or purchase new equipment if maintenance is not possible, and all that cool stuff. And we buy the best. We will buy the best one that we are aware of that's available. And that includes everything down to like an HDMI cord. If you go to, like, for example, Target, you can get HDMI cords for, like, anywhere from $5 all the way up to $40. Well, we're gonna buy that $40 cord because we know the brand name or whatever the case it may be. We're buying the best equipment for these broadcasts, and I think our viewers have kind of figured this out without us necessarily saying that. We've gotten some messages on our Twitter saying, hey, I watched the hockey game that you guys did, and I also watched the hockey game that these other guys did. Your broadcast is awesome. Their broadcast cameras were a little weak. Well, we always believe that you get what you pay for, and we don't have anything against anybody else who streams sporting events. We respect that because we can't get to all the other games, so we need people to kind of, for lack of better wording, do what we're doing, I guess. But with the exception of Shanley TV and the Jaguar Vision up at Northern Cass High School, we were really the next station to come in line, at least to the best of our knowledge, with NFHS in the back of the mind and all that as well. But you've seen some stations pop up. There's one in Hillsboro now. There is Spuds TV, and I've actually met with Corey, who is a part of Spuds TV. And we've discussed things on how to make Spuds TV as best as possibly can. I've shared information with them. Some of the information worked out, some of it didn't work out. So I mean, that's just kind of the process of elimination. You try things, when it doesn't work, you let it go, and you stick with what is going to work. So those stations are popping up now, and we don't have any competition with them. As we said in our last video, when we didn't want to be like competition to any radio or TV stations, now we want to add that we're not competition for the other video streaming services either. We want to be a teammate, and we are going to get to the games that they can't get to. Now, we've been asked, I won't say who asked us, to sign an agreement saying we would never come to a game in their area or whatever. And I'm just going to be flat out honest with you. We don't have any agreements. Every single game is wide open for us. And, but we just make what's the word I'm looking for here? A mutual respect decision to stay away from a game that's being streamed. Because why should two streaming services be there when we could be at another game that's not being streamed? That's two games that get on the air instead of one. So that's our thought on it. So if we know that a game's being streamed, we usually communicate with whoever is behind that streaming service and say, hey, are you going to be at this game? It's one we have interest in. If they say, yes, we are, then we'll be like, no problem. We'll find a different game. If they say no, then they got another commitment or something, then we can go to that game. And I want to give a special props to Spuds TV. They've really grown that thing, and covering the Moorhead Spuds. I know they have the equipment to do two games at the same time now, just like we do. And I will admit, they reached that goal first. But, with a little bit of hard work, we got there as well. So we are very proud of Spuds TV and the guys that work over there. They do things for the right reason, and I feel that we do things for the right reason as well. So with that said, we don't have anything against that new streaming station covering the Hillsborough Central Valley boroughs. They are doing a fantastic job, maybe working out a few kinks still, but overall, I mean, they're getting the game on the air, and that's what people want to see. And they've been getting some views on their videos, and the numbers that they get on their videos honestly don't surprise me, because every time we've covered Hillsborough Central Valley, we've gotten those same type of numbers. So matter of fact, that Hillsborough Central Valley versus Thompson double overtime game up in Thompson, that was, to this day, our highest viewing video. I think it's nearing 3,000 views last time I checked. So we're pretty pumped up about that. Another thing that we started since our last update video is player profile videos. You may have heard about these. We're going to keep it on the screen here. We have two of the three kind of in silence running here, so you can kind of get an idea of what they are. Now, we've done a total of 3 so far. Videos, all for softball. That doesn't mean we don't do other sports, but we have done 3, and 2 of those students have now received college scholarships, and that is the whole purpose of these player profile videos. They are available for every sport. It's a way to showcase your talents to a college recruiter. It's an excellent opportunity to, get your name towards the top of the list for that college scholarship. We ask $125 per player video. We do offer discounts if we do multiple players on the same day at the same location. And there are going to be some families that would want this, but they can't afford it. Well, you can make a donation on our website, msportsnet.com. Click on the donate button, and if you can donate $125 for one video, or if you want to donate $1,250, then we will put that in there, and that'll be 10 free videos for 10 students who may not be able to financially afford one. And as many donations specifically for the player profile videos that we get, we will continue to rack up the free videos and do as many. We want to get as many students as we possibly can this opportunity, because we understand how important it is to get into college and to get into college athletics, especially coming out of a high school where you were a part of high school athletics. Keeps you active, keeps your mind bright, keeps your GPA up. Studies have shown that. So if it works in high school, we suspect that it works in college as well. So we want to help these kids get to college. And these player profile videos are one way that we do that. Tapings take less than an hour usually. Turnaround time, we always say 24 to 48 hours. Now, after we've done a couple of videos, we have the format set up for softball videos to get the turnaround time a little bit quicker. We haven't done any for another sport, but we will and we want to. And once we start doing those sports, we'll get the format set for those sports. And then the turnaround times will be quicker for those as well. But worst case scenario is 48 hours per player on turnaround time with the production, with the graphics, pitch speed, how many seconds it took to run from first to home to second to third, and et cetera, et cetera. And they're available to students in Minnesota, North Dakota, and South Dakota. We may or may not charge a little bit more depending on the length of travel that we have to do. We will go out to you and your school or your location to do these player profile videos. You're welcome to come to the Fargo-Moorhead area, and we have a couple of connections with people to get to a basketball court or a softball field or baseball field, and we can do it here, or we can meet somewhere in the middle if that's more convenient. We're willing to talk, and the softball videos specifically are done in partnership with our friends at Diamond Academy. We are certainly appreciative of Vance and all the other guys at Diamond Academy for all the work that they do down there, and this is a great opportunity to get your kid into the spotlight, regardless of the sport. If it's volleyball, basketball, baseball, football, hockey, track and field, wrestling, we're not experts on all the sports, but we always have what we call an assistant, an athletic assistant, to help us with these player profile videos so that we can make sure that we get on tape the skills that a college recruiter is looking for and keep it that way. Most of these videos, 3 to 4 minutes tops. We don't want unless the only exception is for like baseball and softball. If it's a pitcher, maybe we'll go to 5 minutes just to showcase some of the pitching skills and all that cool stuff. But that's what we've determined is the best, is 3 to 4 minutes. $125, it's not a lot when you think about it in terms of, hey, college costs what? $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, depending on what kind of degree and classes you're going into. So $125 to get a full scholarship to college on your son or daughter's favorite sport. I mean, it's really a low cost, and we understand not all the families can afford that, and that's why we're asking for those donations so that we can rack up, X amount of free videos that we can do for the students who are indeed in a financial distress situation. I'm not sure if that's the word I wanted to use or not, but if that is out there and they make us aware of it, then we will work on either a free video or a discounted video based upon how many donations we have. If we get, say, 7 donations and we've done 7 free videos already, then we wouldn't be able to do an 8th free video until we got that 8th donation. So if you do sponsor multiple videos, we can give you a little plug in that video saying this video is sponsored by your business name here, but we don't want to do 30-second ads or anything like that in these player profile videos, because these videos are specifically focused on the player. The college recruiter, for lack of better wording, doesn't necessarily care about what you got going on at your business. They want to know about the student and what their athletic ability is to compete in the sport that they're interested in competing in college. So with that said, let's move on to our sponsorships now. You can sponsor your team in varsity, sub-varsity, single game. You can consider a season-long sponsorship packages. Single games, $150 per game. We used to not charge that much, but as I said in the intro of our video, we do have to up our rates a little bit so that we can hire more people and get those people paid for their time that they put in to help us get these games on the air and all that cool stuff. So that is why we have upped those rates, but to be fair, we don't charge additional anymore for road games. So it's just $150 home or away. And like if Fargo South goes to West Fargo, that's a road game for Fargo South. it's 150. If Fargo South goes up to Grand Forks Central, it's 150. If Fargo South goes to Dickinson, it's 150. It's just 150 flat rate per game. Now we can get sponsors at, say, 3 sponsors at $50 a game. That covers that game, for example. Do the math. 10 sponsors at $15 a game, or whatever that math is. We're gonna get sponsorships to cover these games. But if you're able to fund a whole game, and we've had parents chip in and stuff too, then by all means do it, because that'll get that game on the air guaranteed, even if we don't make anything above that amount. So $150 per game is what we charge. Multi-game discounts will indeed be applied, and we have season-long coverage discounts. We've done season-long for the Fargo North Spartans softball team. We've done season-long for the Fargo South Bruin football team. We've done season-long now for the Fargo Davies basketball team. We've done multiple game packages for some other teams. Like, for example, we did the Shiloh Christian Skyhawks. We did 4 or 5 games for the Skyhawks on a multi-game package system. So like I said, those are a few of the examples of what we have done, and we would love to cover your team season long, or just like maybe a handful of games, like maybe the big games on your schedule, or maybe just the road games on your schedule. Or we've even had teams say, we only want you to cover our home games. Now, the tricky part about road games is we do have to get approval from that whole school to make sure that we can do that broadcast, because there are some things that could prevent us. Like if the school has a contract with NFHS, we can't do it. No other video streaming service can do it. So that'd be a game that we can't do. For example, Fargo Davies at Devils Lake in boys or girls basketball. We can't do that because Devils Lake has an NFHS contract for basketball. But we could go up there and do a football game in Devils Lake, because they don't have the NFHS contract on football, at least not at this time. So any school that has an NFHS contract, we cannot do home games for that particular school. So that's one thing that may cause. Another thing that may cause a problem with a road game broadcast is especially gym sports in the winter time, like volleyball and basketball, etc. If they don't have a Wi-Fi password or a way for us to connect an Ethernet cable to an Ethernet port in their gym, that may not allow us to do the game, because the jetpacks, which work awesome in outdoor sports like football and soccer and baseball and softball, due to some construction materials that may be in some of these gyms, it may block the cell phone signal from coming in, which won't allow us to get a strong enough signal off the jetpack to stream the game 100% flawlessly. You'll get buffering issues, and if we know ahead of time that is going to be a serious problem, we won't do that game. And it's nothing against that particular school or the two teams in that matchup. We just want to make sure that we continue to provide the highest quality broadcast possible. We've had schools upgrade their internet connection when we started doing less games or whatever, and then we came back once they had a better internet connection, started doing more games. So once again, all road games require broadcast approval from that whole school or venue. And like I said, gather a group of sponsors. Each sponsor will have the option of a 30-second advertisement to promote a product, service, or upcoming event of your choice. We'll also give multiple live mentions, like this broadcast brought to you by Company A, Company B, Company C, Company D, and Company E, etc. And we'll say that multiple times a game, and we'll encourage people to reach out to these companies and businesses and patronize them by buying a product or a service, or signing up for a subscription of some sort, or even encourage them to just give you a phone call to say thank you, and let them know that you're at least watching, even though you don't need the product or service that they have available at this time. Say thank you anyway, and that'd be great. Now, there is a trick, and the North Dakota High School Activities Association and the Minnesota High School League have a policy that is similar. It's not identical, but it's similar, and we've kind of adopted those two policies and tied it together in one. And that is the we will not promote any products linked to alcohol, tobacco, vaping, gambling, or any other product that's considered safe. That is not considered safe. I was wondering if we worded that right. For individuals under the age of 21. It used to be under the age of 18, but they recently raised that tobacco age requirement to 21. So now we've modified our policy to match that law, 21. Now the only loophole in that is that does not apply to Summer Legion baseball games, because that is not a North Dakota High School Activities Association or Minnesota High School League sanctioned sponsored event. So that particular rule does not apply necessarily to Summer Legion baseball games. But if we can avoid it, we probably still will, just because, the participants in the game aren't old enough to be messing with any of those type of products. We don't want to promote that. We want to promote healthiness. What would happen if a high school athlete got their hands on some tobacco? Well, it would probably severely hinder their athletic ability. So we want to promote good sportsmanship and healthiness and training and just getting better and all that good stuff. So now, if you decide to sponsor, we have two different kinds of ads. You can do a video ad or an audio banner ad. Let's take a look at the video ad first. And I want to thank Matt Mitzel from the Rainbow Shop in Bismarck for allowing us to use his commercials as the sample commercials that we show to you and other potential sponsors who might be interested. So as you can see, this is a video commercial that he did a couple years ago for the local TV station in town. He sent that video to us, and we used that during some of the games that his business sponsored. And as you can see, I'm up here in the in the corner here. So where you see me at is where the game is at. If they're in a timeout or whatever, you can see the teams huddling up. We never miss any action of the game. I've worked in radio for a long time, and running commercials and stuff like that. We've come out of the commercial break and a big play was missed. It happens a lot in football games, believe it or not. They'll take like a 1 minute break after a touchdown score, and there's like a 15-second legal ID at the play after the break or whatever, and then all of a sudden that kickoff happens, and boom, 80-yard touchdown return for a kickoff, and we're just now coming out of the commercial break, and I just have to tell you about it. You don't get to experience the excitement of that. Should that ever happen on our station, you will see that kickoff return for a touchdown in that camera right there. But we will come out of that sponsor ad if we feel there's an opportunity for a big play. If it's something minor, we'll keep the sponsor ad open on the air until it's fully finished. We will not break out of it unless we feel it's absolutely necessary, and for that sponsor that we break out early, we will make it up to that sponsor in that same broadcast. That much we can say. So this has been on loop here. You see the video, the TV version. This is the video ad that you can do on our station as well. We can do, if you have one already produced, we can take it. We can bring our cameras to your store and do some film and produce it ourselves. And then we have what we call an audio banner ad. So if you have like a commercial on a radio station, for example, we can air that commercial as well. Doesn't have any video, but what we'll do is we'll add some imaging to it. Videos, pictures, logos, phone numbers, etc. For example, let me hit a button here. So you saw the video ad for the Rainbow Shop. Here's the same audio banner ad for the Rainbow Shop. So this is an audio banner ad. It has the store's logo on it. He's choosing to put the team that he was sponsoring on there too. Excuse me. And then it has the exact script. I'm going to go full screen here on this. But you can read along. it's almost like an audio book. Um, the exact script of your ad will be written on here, and then we can put all kinds of things. We can put like your logo, your street address, your email address, your website, your phone number, your fax number, whatever else, your Facebook link, your Twitter link, Instagram link, Snapchat link, whatever you got, we can put it on there. We can do a whole bunch of things with that. If you go, matter of fact, if you go to our YouTube page at youtube.com/ND Sports Channel, you can actually view each individual ad of every sponsor who's ever been on our station and see what we've done for them. You can kind of get ideas and get an idea of what you would like for your business. Allstate Fred Hage Agency. If you are in the Fargo-Moorhead area, if you go to like Cashwise Grocery Store, right on the checkout there, right on the little stand where you can like put your wallet and your phone and your keys while you're paying for your groceries, right there on that stand is like a little poster, I guess you could call it. Has a picture of the agent on it with the locations and the address and the phone numbers and a little bit of a description of, I think it says rates going up, call me and save now, something to that effect. So what he decided to do was to take that and put it as his background here for the banner ad. So he's got his picture on there, and then he's got the radio ad that he was running at one of the local radio stations attached to that. So that's the other thing. When it comes to the audio part of the banner ads, you can request to have myself do it, or if you already have the ad done at a local radio station, it's done by another voice, we can use that voice. In 99% of the cases, there are no like contracts or anything that exist that say that voice can't be used on another station, because it is very common actually to have radio announcers do commercials in not only other stations in town but out of town too. I've worked in broadcasting now for 17 years. Radio, a huge chunk of that. When I lived in Bismarck, I did radio ads for ads that aired in Grand Forks. So that's an example of what I'm saying here, is that if you have or you can do it in your voice too if you want. But if you have a person from another radio station who's already voiced that ad, and that's the ad that you want to use in your sponsorship with our broadcast, we can certainly do that for you as well. Not a problem. So once again, you got the video ads here. I'll pull that one back up. You got the video ads, so whatever you've done for a TV station, we can pull that, put it on here as well. Or you got the radio ads. Anything you've done for a radio station, we can take that radio ad, add a banner to it with imagery, your logo, phone number, etc., text to the ad, and all that cool stuff, and we'll be just fine. So on our website, msportsnet.com, you can check out the upcoming schedule of games. Now, these games that you see here, as you can see, this was broadcasted between December 31st and January 3rd. So if you're watching this in a couple months from now, this isn't updated. But the updated schedule is always at our website, msportsnet.com. Always, always there. We may have a schedule on Facebook or Twitter, or we may show something on one of our broadcasts. I know in the past we used to have a different schedule up in our pregame and postgame shows to show you the upcoming games. But we decided to merge our website into our broadcast so that if we update it on our website, it is updated on our broadcast. So whatever you see in a broadcast is usually what we're going to be doing. But you can see there that we got a few open spots. We're actually, as of the time of this video, working on a couple sponsorship packages with a few businesses, and if those come through, then those blanks will get filled up with some more games. Mystery. I'm doing air quotes, even though you can't see it on this particular screen. But if you go to our website and you see a matchup here that you're like, wow, that one really is kind of the matchup that my target audience would be watching. I really want to jump in and get my ad during that specific game, or during those 3 or 4 specific games, whatever the case may be. We would be more than happy to do that. If the games are fully sponsored, that's where the occasional discounts may come into apply. So multi-game discounts, like I mentioned earlier in our broadcast. So, and then also on our website, all of our games are available on demand within about 30 minutes or so after the live broadcast. And you go to msportsnet.com under the games button, click on games on demand. You'll come to this screen that you see right here. It has the final score of every game we've ever broadcasted. You see the watch link there. You just find the two teams that you want to watch. You scroll over, click the appropriate watch link, and you can watch that game on demand 24/7 at your convenience. Over there, you see a green column with numbers. Those numbers are how many people have watched that game. So you can get an idea of how many people are watching that game. They're like, St. Peter versus Holly, 247 people watch that game. I have a business in Holly. I'd love to sponsor that game next time the Holly Nuggets play somebody on our station. Those numbers represent pretty well. Like if you see a specific team, like for example, if you go down to Saturday, December 14th, you got Fargo North South versus Bismarck Blizzard. So that's Fargo North, Fargo South, Oak Grove, and Shanley versus Bismarck High, Bismarck Century, Bismarck Legacy. I don't know if there's more than those three teams. So you got at least 7 schools there represented, if not more than 7, in that one game. And 210 people watched that game that was won by Fargo North South by 1 goal, 4-3. Now, these numbers are, we have that particular column on our website set to stop updating after 72 hours. So, for example, that hockey game between Fargo North South and Bismarck Blizzard had 210 viewers. If I remember correctly, I think the live viewership of that was about 143. And then over the next 72 hours, it reached up to 210. Now, if you want to go to our website, like if you were to click on the watch button for that particular game, you could see how many views that game has right now. So it's very possible that game has more than 210 views, but it had 210 views up to 72 hours after the live broadcast. So that is that kind of gives you an idea of how many people watch the game live and then how many additional people watch it on demand. So even if you're sponsoring a game, your ad's still playing in that game, even if they're not watching it live. When they watch the on-demand replay, they will still see your ad. You'll still get that promotion, and we provide that on-demand promotion for absolutely free. We only charge you for the original live broadcast. So, like I said, that pretty much wraps it up. Once again, if you would love to donate, grab your phone, scan that QR code, and it gives you 3 suggested donations. I believe it's $35, $75, and $125, I believe. But then there's also a 4th box where if you want to give more than $35 but less than $75, then you can go to that 4th box and type in like $50. Or if you want to do more than $125, whatever that suggested donation is, you say you want to do $300, you can go to that 4th box and type in $300. And if your phone doesn't work to pull it up, which it does, because I've tried it a bunch of times and it works. I've donated to myself just to test it to make sure the donation link works, and it does. So I know that much for sure. But we also have other options to donate at our website, msportsnet.com. There's a donate button right there on the menu bar and all that stuff. And like I said, it's a huge reason why we've been able to do what we've been doing since 2017. Helps us upgrade equipment, get new equipment, keep equipment working when it goes faulty. And like I said earlier, we use the best quality equipment. We have 3 cameras right now. The setup for just one camera, that includes the tripod, the camera, and all the accessories and cords that we need to make that camera work. That is a $1,400 setup per pop. So we have 3 cameras, and that is what? 1,400 times 3 is like somewhere around 4,000, I believe. Let me do the math on that really quick here. 1,400 times 3, $4,200 in just cameras that we have invested in the station. That doesn't include the microphones, the XLR cords, the audio mixers, the streaming software. It doesn't include any of that. That is just for the cameras alone. And if it wasn't for a handful of donations that we've gotten over the last couple of years, we would not be where we're at right now. And if we want to continue to move forward and continue to progress, we definitely need your help on donations there. So, like I said, thank you so much for watching. It has been a fantastic couple of years, and we are looking forward to what this, not only this new year has in store, but this new decade has in store. I was thinking about this earlier. You know, every year people make New Year's resolutions. Some are kept, some are not kept. You know, we all know how that goes. But the New Year's resolutions that we should take most seriously are the ones that go into a new decade. Maybe you haven't been very good at keeping New Year's resolutions over the last year by year by year. So why don't you make an extra effort to say, you know what? Instead of saying, I struggled last year, I'm going to do better this year. Why don't you take the extra step and say, yeah, I didn't do so hot on that this last decade. Let's make sure that doesn't happen again, because 20 years, that's a lot of time to waste. Think about it that way. So, like I said, thank you so much for watching. We appreciate all the support. And if you would be happy to, am I click? No, I need to go this way with my hand. I need to go the opposite direction in my camera. Take the phone, just scan it. And like I said, the 3 boxes will pop up with a 4th box to make a custom donation. And we would certainly appreciate your support. Like I said, we want to continue to get out to the West. We want to get into South Dakota. We want to get deeper into Minnesota. And we want to hire more people to help us out with our broadcast so that we can do more things. One of the things that people have asked us a lot about, especially with our on-screen scoreboards, is if we can put a clock on there. The answer is yes, we can. The other answer is it's too difficult for one person to do. If you've watched any of the games, you may have heard me joke saying, hey, if our graphics guy could get updated, that'd be much appreciated. To be 100% honest with you, we don't have a graphics guy per se. I'm the graphics guy. I'm taking the stats for the game. I'm controlling the scoreboard that you see on screen. I am controlling all the commercial breaks. I am controlling the play-by-play. I am controlling turning the microphone volumes up and down. I am looking at the phone at your text messages saying, hey, thanks for the great broadcast. Our son is number 22. Our daughter is number 17. Whatever. And I do it all. And I have one other person who right now is mostly volunteer. I've paid her for a few games on and stuff, but she's mostly volunteer, and she has done a fantastic job on the camera. Couple slip-ups here and there, but nothing that we've been worried about, and we've never ever received a complaint about one of these slip-ups by our camera person that I'm aware of anyway. If you don't make the complaints, make us aware of your concerns, then we can't do anything to fix it. But you haven't made any negative comments that we are aware of, so we're guessing that everything is running smoothly here, or at least up to your standards, your satisfaction, up to par, is what I'm looking for. So, like I said, it's a 2-person operation right now, and we want to hire more people so that we can get somebody to dedicate to just the scoreboard, because then they can hit the button to stop and start the clock, and we can get the clock on screen. We have hired a guy who is within our network, I guess you could say, and he has done a tremendous job on the scoreboards that we have, designing the software for each individual sport. So we have a scoreboard that is specifically for soccer. We have a scoreboard that is specifically for baseball and softball. We have a scoreboard that is specifically for football. We have a scoreboard that is specifically for volleyball. We have a scoreboard that is specifically for hockey. And at the time of this video, our guy is working on that baseball softball one that I just mentioned that we already have. So I was kind of fibbing a little bit. We don't have it yet, but I was told in an email earlier today that we would have it by this weekend. So this weekend, it's January 1st right now. So this weekend will be January 3rd, January 4th. I'm sorry, it's January 2nd right now. So I'm a day ahead of myself here, behind myself here. So we'll have it here in a couple of days. So that gives us the month of January and February and March to test it in the background, make sure it works, and we can communicate with our guy in case anything needs to be updated or reworked a little bit. And we can get it ready for this baseball and softball spring and this Legion baseball summer that's ahead of us here. And I'm hoping that I have a vision in my mind of what these broadcasts will look like when we do baseball and softball. And if my vision goes as my vision in my head is suggesting right now, it's going to look absolutely awesome. I'm crossing my fingers that we have enough manpower to do all of the updating for balls, strikes, pitch counts, top and bottom of the innings, inning by inning runs scored, left on base, hits, errors, runs scored, temperature at first pitch, sky condition at first pitch. This is just a handful of things that are being built into this scoreboard software that this guy that we know is making for us. He's out of Las Vegas. He's actually from the North Dakota area, but he works for a software company in Las Vegas and is currently stationed in Las Vegas right now, and he's helping us out with these scoreboards. All the ones that you have seen in the past since the start of the fall sports season of 2019. Since the start of the 2019 fall sports season to right now, all the scoreboards that you have seen on any of our broadcasts for any sports were designed by this guy that we have hired out of Las Vegas. And we are the one and only company in the universe that has these particular scoreboards. And I much appreciate his efforts in making that happen. So we're looking forward to baseball and softball this spring. And if you haven't heard the news on Twitter yet, we are going to be the official home for Fargo Post 400 Baseball Summer 2020. We'll have every single game home and away. That includes the tournaments in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and I believe it's Omaha, Nebraska. And then I believe we are going to be out in Bismarck for a couple of tournaments. And whatever else happens to be on their schedule. I think there's a tournament in Fargo as well. But we're going to have every single game. I believe it's right around mid-20s for the total number of games for Fargo Post 400 Baseball. Every one of those games will be live here on the ND Sports Channel, barring some technical glitch. But I'm pretty sure those technical glitches are not going to occur. So if you'd like to sponsor your team, contact us. 701-373-1843 is one of our phone numbers. Or you can get us on our other phone number at 701-740-6453. You can email us at msportsmedianetwork@gmail.com. Or you can, if it's easier, if you're asking about a North Dakota team, you can email us at ndsportschannel@gmail.com. If you're asking about a Minnesota team, you can email us at mnsportstation@gmail.com. And if you're asking about a South Dakota team, you can email us at sdsportsvision@gmail.com. Or if you're just not sure which one to email, then just email us at msportsmedianetwork@gmail.com. One of those 4 email addresses will get your message, and we'll get back to you and all that cool stuff. And we have the contact form on our website, which a lot of people have used as well. And I think, as a matter of fact, now that I bring that up, I think there's one that I need to respond to. So we're going to get to that. And actually, no, I did respond to that. We actually got, I'll share this now that it comes up. We got a message on our website saying, why don't you cover more teams out in the West? Well, as you could see on our map earlier, we have covered teams out in the West. Let me pull that one up here really quick. we have been out into the West, and we want to get out there more. But the only reason we've been able to get from Fargo, where our station is located, to Bowman, North Dakota, just above the South Dakota, Wyoming, Montana border, is due to sponsorships. That's a lot of traveling. That's like a 5-hour trip, I believe, and we're not afraid to make the 5-hour trip. We want to get out there, but we do need your help, especially in the western half. We're not super popular, but we're becoming a little bit more known out in western North Dakota. We're more known in eastern North Dakota than we are in western North Dakota right now. But that is the reason why our coverage is primarily in eastern North Dakota is because that's where our office is located at, and that's where we're most popular, and that's where the sponsorships are coming from. And like I said earlier in this network update, we are a business, so we need money to keep the business going. And so if you can help us out with a sponsorship or a donation, we can get out and cover more teams. We want to cover more of the WDA teams. Earlier in the broadcast, I said all road games had to be approved. One thing that I'll make you aware of right now, at this point in time, and it may change, like if it's changed after this video was broadcasted, then awesome. And if not, well, then this video remains accurate. But for the Bismarck Public School System, this includes the Bismarck High Demons, the Bismarck Century Patriots, and the Bismarck Legacy Sabres. The Bismarck Public School System, for whatever reason, and respect it, don't always allow video broadcasts. They will allow a radio station to come out, but they don't always allow a video broadcast of their sports teams for home games. So whenever one of those Bismarck teams I just mentioned goes on the road, we try and get to that game to provide coverage for the Demons, the Patriots, and the Sabres, because we want to be fair to those three teams, but we also respect the guidelines and regulations that they have at the Bismarck Public School System. So just wanted to give you a heads up on that. If we don't cover a lot of Bismarck teams in Bismarck, that is exactly why, because they may allow a certain game to be broadcasted, but it's unlikely. And until they make a decision to change those policies, we are respectfully going to respect those policies. We don't have any say in those policies. We can't change them. As much as we'd love to say, hey, we want to do all your games, let us, and it's still up to them. It doesn't matter how much we would love to do their game. It's still up to them if they will allow us to do those video broadcasts or not. So, but with that said, we have been to Bismarck. We've covered a lot of Shiloh Christian Skyhawks games, maybe because they're not part of the Bismarck Public School System. So that's been part of our coverage out west. And then we've been to Minot and for the state softball tournament, and we were at the District 10 tournament at the casino there in Newtown, and then we've been to a couple other places out west as well, Mandan, for example. So we are getting out west. We want to get more towns out west. We want to get more teams featured. Right now we have 107 teams that we've covered. We can easily get that number way higher than that, and we'll see where we're at in 6 months to a year from now with that number. And we want to get into Minnesota, and like I said, we want to break into South Dakota as well. So baby steps with sponsorships and donations. It'll all happen. You work with us, we'll work with you. We would love to team up with you. If you're if you're a parent of a student on a team, you want to get together with some other parents and help sponsor a game, we can do that. With that in mind, let me share this. The Magnitude Sports Media Network will never directly ask a school's booster club to sponsor a game. Now, they are welcome to sponsor a game if they wish, but we feel that the booster clubs are designed to support those athletic programs in the school when it comes to like getting new jerseys, or maybe getting a new scoreboard in the gym, or maybe getting some new team banners in the gym, or on the field, or whatever, something that what's the word I'm looking for, that is more focused on the team and the players playing on that team, where our video broadcasts of those games are more of an enjoyment for the parents and the fans who aren't able to attend the games. But the players playing the game can't watch the game at the same time that they're playing it. So that's not really beneficial. That's the word I was looking for the student athletes that play on those teams. So as a result, we will not ask a school's booster club to support. But if they do want to, they can. And we do offer a kickback program for booster programs that do support us. That we didn't do it right away. We have had a couple booster clubs support us in the past, and we didn't have that kickback program back when that started. But we do have a kickback program that we give back a certain percentage of any sponsorships that come from a booster club back to the booster club, so that they can use some of that money to help improve the team, whether it's to get brand new jerseys or whatever the case may be. So just keep that in mind there. Just wanted to share that. And I think that pretty much wraps up everything that we've learned in the past 15 or so months since we did our last update video. A little bit longer than the last one, but we certainly appreciate you sticking in there. Once again, we hope you click or scan that QR code with your phone, make a donation. We'd certainly appreciate that. And when you do make a donation, put it in the comments. Hey, I'm a fan of this team. And if you say that, then we'll know where to go with our broadcast. So, and if you want to sponsor a game that we already have on our schedule, you're more than welcome to do that. If you're aware of a game that's happening, and you look at our schedule and say, hey, they're not doing a game on that day, let's try and get this game on. Reach out to us. Phone number, email, as I mentioned earlier. And or you can get us direct message on our Facebook page as well, facebook.com/msportsmnet, or you can get us on Twitter at msportsnet.com, and that will work as well. Send us a direct message on there or tweet us, whatever you want to do. Like I said, we have Summer Legion Baseball locked in. We have some people interested in spring sports. We have people interested right now in fall sports. And then we have Fargo Davies for the basketball team locked in for the winter right now. And we have a couple other teams that are interested in having us kind of fill in the blanks with their team, with their basketball team's games. And so we're working on that right now. But if you want your team sponsored, if you want your team broadcasted for your friends and family that live in other parts of the country, we did a Fargo Davies game once, a soccer game. And we got a message saying, hey, I am the grandma of, I forgot the name of the player, but it was one of the players' grandmas, and it was a boys' soccer game, and she was from Pennsylvania. Fast forward to almost the end of the soccer season, we did another soccer game at Fargo Davies, and that grandma from Pennsylvania was sitting in the stands right in front of her broadcast booth, and during a commercial break, she turns like, hey, are you the ND Sports Channel? And it's like, yep, we sure are. I just want to say thank you so much, because I got here for today's game, but I've been able to watch most of the games thanks to you. And, well, we understand. You live in Pennsylvania. That's a long trip to make to North Dakota to watch a soccer game for an hour and a half, you know. So that's one of the reasons why we exist, so we can get these games out to the families and the fans who maybe the alum that aren't living in the area anymore. These games are available for them to watch so they can follow their team. So that's what we want to do. We want to team up with you to follow your team. We only have so many openings right now. I'm one person. As I mentioned earlier in the video, at least I think I mentioned this, we are looking at teaming up possibly with a couple of my former coworkers from a radio station to maybe launch a secondary substation. And well, I'll just say this. Got a text message right around Christmas time saying, hey, let's talk some business in the new year. So I'll leave it at that. And in the next update, if there's any more updates on that, we'll let you know. Until then, have a great evening, afternoon, night, weekend, month, year, whatever the case may be. And we'll talk to you next time on the next Network Update. We'll try and do these a little bit more frequently. But until then, have a great time. Stay safe and keep playing sports. That'd be awesome.
The Magnitude Sports Media Network is all about bringing your team home when they're on the road and bringing your team to your friends, fans, and family who are on the road. Does your team have a huge road game coming up on the schedule that your fans aren't able to attend? Does your family live in a different part of the country? Consider sponsoring your team. We can show you who's watching the game, the age group, the actual number of viewers, so team up with us to bring your team back to your home television when they're on the road playing. Visit our website, msportsnet.com, or call us at 701-373-1843. Subscribe to Magnitude Sports on YouTube. Go to youtube.com, search for Magnitude Sports, click on subscribe, click on the bell, and select your alert preference of all, personalized, or none. By selecting all, you'll be notified to every live broadcast and video upload we make. Selecting personalized will notify you only to the games and videos most likely to interest you, and selecting none will help us out by becoming a subscriber but avoid unnecessary mobile and email notifications. Direct link is youtube.com/ND Sports Channel /live. Thanks for subscribing to Magnitude Sports on YouTube.